the fresh day. I hope you're up, shaking and baking. All right. So today I want to talk to you about sales metrics that you should be tracking. The sales metrics that you should be tracking in your business. You want to make progress in business, in sales. There are certain sales metrics that I think or I believe that you should be tracking to see how healthy your sales is. So let's get into it. Sam Harvard, how are you doing, man? Good evening to you, sir, for joining us. Let's look at the sales metrics that you should be tracking. But the first things first is, what is a metric? A metric is basically a standard of measurement that you use to ascertain the progress of a process. Hey, Mr. Olakunle showing you. PK. Wow, it was such an honor to have you, man. Such an honor to have you on the call today, sir. Good day, boss. All right, you guys, you know now. I don't need to tell you to follow Olakunle Shoring. You know what to do, man. Yeah. So, guys, those of you listening to this on the podcast, listen to this on YouTube and on Instagram. Thank you, boss. I send you love back as well. All right. Let's look at the sales metrics that you should be tracking. Now, you know what is a metric? A metric is a standard that shows progress in a system. You can set certain metrics for your life. You set metrics for your children. Let's say, for example, if you're married, a metric is the number of time you have a communication with your spouse, or the number of time that you guys as a family eat together or spend time together. That's a metric. Because if you take care of the metric, the outcome that you want will take care of itself. Did you get that? If you take care, Dr. MKH in the building. See, I'm excited. Dr. MKH, I've lost my dignity. I just saw it. I just shouted. I am on Instagram. I am on YouTube. I'm live on the podcast. Guys, on the podcast, don't be angry with me. I just saw one of my bosses. I'm just screaming. All right, so let's look at the sales metrics that you should be tracking if you want to make progress in sales. What are those metrics? Number one is your call answer rate. Your call answer rate is a metric. That means that if you call 10 people in a day in your business, how many of them picked up the phone and answered you? You know that you made sales call is not a metric. It's not enough. An important metric is how many people picked up the phone and answered that call. That is a call metric. It's a call metric. Great. Another metric that you should be looking at is your set metric. How many meetings did you set? All right. How many appointments did you book off the back of the call that people answered? It's a metric. It shows how healthy your sales is or how healthy your sales pipeline will be. The other metric you should be looking at is your show rates of the people who picked up their phones, of the people who decided to come on a Zoom call with you or come for a meeting with you. How many of them showed up? It's a metric. It's a metric. That's a metric you want to check. Who showed up in the meeting? You told people, oh, click on the link to book an appointment. Click on the link to book. They booked the appointment, but did they show up? Were they there? They booked an appointment in your calendar. Did they come for site inspection? They booked an appointment in your calendar for you to go and show them the property, but did they show up? Were they there? That is a metric to show how healthy your stuff is. I don't know if I'm making sense on tonight. All right, great. The other metric you want to check out is your conversion rate. Your conversion rate is a metric you want to check out. Okay, of the people that you called and answered the call, you booked an appointment with them, all right? You show them your property, or you show them whatever it is that you're selling. How many of them bought? What is your conversion rate? What's the mechanism for conversion? Is it 10%? All right? Is it 16%? That means that if it's 10%, if you speak to 10 people, if you speak to 100 people, if you have contacts with 50 people, if you have contact with 10 people, how many of them show up? I think the global standard is 10%. All right? So that is a metric you want to track. All right? Another metric you want to track, maybe you send emails, is your open rate. How many people clicked and opened the email that you sent? Who opened the email? Then that second metric, another metric you want to check is what is the response rate of the people that opened the email? Did they click through? Did they click the link to your company's website? Did they click the link to see the products? Did they respond? All right? Did they set an appointment? All those are important metrics that you want to look at, because the metric, you see, if you take care of the metric, the sales will take care of itself. It's as simple as that. That's exactly how it works. What is the metric? So if you say a metric that's important to you is the answer rate. So you want to look at, okay, when is the best time to make the sales calls for people to answer? According to HubSpot, they say that some of the best time to make sales calls between 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. People are more relaxed that way. I don't know how true it is, but I mean, you can say for yourself. And some people say don't make sales calls on Mondays. Do you agree with that? Because on Mondays, people are just settling down in their businesses. They won't have morning meetings. They may not answer your sales calls. So start making sales calls from Tuesday. You know, I booked a client today, a client in Bromley in London. I've been calling them in the morning times. It didn't work. I just picked up my phone and called them this evening, and boom, they said send the proposal. They said send the proposal. Because I called them I really called them like 10 minutes or 15 minutes to their closing time. So time of call is critically important. It affects, that metric. All right? Conversion rates. Maybe your energy level, does it affect the conversion rate? Do you speak with power? Do you speak with passion? Or are you slouching when you're making the sales calls? All of those things, as simple as they look, they are going to affect your sales conversion rate. That's a metric you want to check out importantly. Now, another thing you want to look at is your revenue efficiency. What will show that your revenue is efficient? Number one is your average deal size. Your average deal size. What is the size of the deals? That's why I encourage you, if you can, sometimes you may need to increase your price. You may need to increase your price, because if your deal size is too small, it will affect your revenue. You are either going to increase the price or increase your offer. Make your offer more robust so that people can pay you more. So you want to work on your average deal size. In terms of your revenue metrics, you want to look at your win rates. How many clients do you do win? How many clients do you do convert? All right, and lastly about that, you want to look at your pipeline coverage. Before I look at pipeline coverage, this episode of the Powerful Podcast was powered by Sales Factory WhatsApp community. I got a WhatsApp community where I teach sales and marketing. Guess what? We have hit the 400 mark subscribers. We have over 400 paid subscribers in the WhatsApp community. You want to join us with entrepreneurs from like over 5 or 6 countries around the world. I teach sales every day. We review a book every day. I give them assignment. In fact, I have a Zoom meeting with members of my WhatsApp group tonight by 7 p.m. Nigerian time. I want to teach them how to make sales calls. So you can click on the link on my Instagram bio to join that right now. And if you want to book a sales coaching session for just you and your business, you can also click on the link on my Instagram bio, or click on the link on the show notes. You are listening to this on YouTube or on the podcast to book that. Those of you who are watching this on YouTube, please click the subscribe button. On Spotify, click the subscribe button. It makes people discover the show more. All right, let's look at your pipeline coverage. your pipeline coverage. It's an interesting subject that you want to check out if you want. It's good to know the terms of sales. It is important that you know the terms of sales, because if you're in the industry, you should understand all this is. What is pipeline coverage? So pipeline coverage is basically the sum of opportunities or leads that you need to hit your revenue targets. Pipeline coverage is the sum or the amount of clients that you need to hit your sales target. That's the pipeline coverage. Now, how do you calculate your pipeline coverage? Watch this. So let's say if your revenue target, or the target that your company gives to you, is $100,000, for example. Your company gave you a target of $100,000, or if you live in Nigeria, 100 million, for example. That's the target that they gave to you. In fact, I just finished doing training for a company that they say that their company gave them a revenue target of 180 billion naira for a quarter. All right, so your company gave you a target of 100 million, right? Good. Now, the pipeline that you have must either equal that revenue figure or go beyond it. If it is less than that, you're in trouble. In fact, if it is equal, it's not really too good. If your revenue target is $100 million, for example, right? But the amount of pipeline or opportunities that you have, all right, the amount of clients, prospective clients that you have that are qualified, they are not just clients, they are MQLs, they are marketing qualified leads, and they are sales qualified leads, they are SQLs, right? If you calculate let's say you have 10 leads in your pipeline, you have qualified them, and each of them will cost like $10 million. That means that you have hit your sales, your pipeline coverage. It's your target is 500 million, and the worth of your pipeline is 500 million. That means that you must close each and every of those clients for you to hit your revenue target. However, if your revenue target is 100 million, but your worth of pipeline, of qualified leads in your pipeline is 3 million, is 2 million, for example, that means that you have 3x the coverage of your revenue. So it is always safer that the worth of your pipeline is higher than your sales target. If your sales target is 100 million, but the worth of your pipeline is 50 million, you know you're in trouble, right? You know you're in trouble, right? Instagram must answer, click, type something. You know you're in trouble, right? But if the worth of your pipeline is bigger than your sales target, is better for you. So the next thing you want to now start doing is you want to work out how you can be more efficient in executing your sales strategy to ensure that you hit revenue. You know, better for you to divide it by quarters. Divide it by quarters. So this is just the little tip I have for you today. My podcast, I hope you enjoyed this tip today. Sales metrics you should check out. If you run a small business, a simple sales metric you can even look at is how many posts you put out every single day. If you put out 3 posts per day, if you put out 3 posts on Instagram, all right, every single day, that's a metric. You want to track that metric and see, okay, of that post I put, how many comments did I get? How many DMs did I get? The number of DMs you get is a metric you want to also check out. All right, I hope this was useful to each and every one of you. Thank you very much. Click on the link on our Instagram bio right now. Book a coaching session for you and your team, or join the WhatsApp community. The same thing with those of you listening to this on YouTube or the podcast. So click the subscribe button, write a comment, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Let me continue with my Instagrammers.